All right, today we're going to be doing the classic bench press lift. And with the bench press, we work 3 prime movers. We work our pec major, the front of our chest. We work the anterior delt, or the front part of your shoulder, and then your tricep, which is on the back of your arm. 2 different kinds of athletes that would utilize this lift would be a softball player, as this would help with their pitching and with throwing, and then a volleyball player. And the bench press would help with serving and hitting, as well as with setting and with passing. So really all of the techniques of that sport. I selected 5 warm-ups that you can do prior to the bench press just to get blood pumping and to decrease the risk of injury. The first would be the figure 8 with a pole. This would help with mobility. You can also do arm circles, again, which would help with mobility. And then you can do a bent row. I would say do maybe 1, possibly 2 sets, but you don't want to get exhausted before you've done your lift. Others you can do would be push-ups, which would be activating your triceps and prep for the lift. And then lastly would be a front arm raise, which would help activate your delts. So getting into the actual lift, before you even start lifting, you want to think about 5 points of contact. So first would be that your feet are grounded, as Catherine has here. She's not on her toes, her feet aren't too far back. She's getting nice and stable from the foundation. Her glutes are already touching the bench, and she has a nice natural arch in her back. Next is her upper back, or her scapula, which again is just giving more foundation, and then her head is resting comfortably. And normally you can use a rack when you're doing bench press, but for the purposes of this video, she's just going to use this demonstration pole. So the 5th point of contact is going to be her hands. So just in her being extended, she can do 2 different types of grips. So she's got a wider grip right now, which is going to work more of your delts. But if she does a narrower grip, you're actually increasing your angle of the elbow, and that's going to work more of your triceps. So getting into just a little bit of safety, you want to make sure that you have a spotter there to help you in case you get stuck and the weight is too much, or you're not able to finish your set, but you want some assistance. Your spotter can take some of that weight off or help you re-rack. And also with that, make sure that your spotter knows what cue or what words you're going to say in case you need help, so there's no miscommunication. So getting into the lift. So bench press, you're going to start with your arms extended up, and you are going to have 2 fundamental movements. So the first is the hinge, or the lowering. And she's going to start by having stiff wrists, so she's not going to have flimsy wrists, but they're going to be nice and firm. And as she lowers, she's going to make sure that her arms are perpendicular to the floor. So that means that they're coming straight down. A cue that you can use is stay in the box. So her shoulders, she should imagine there being a box right here. So she shouldn't be going to either side, just because you want to protect your shoulders. You don't want to get injured. Also, when lowering, we want to make sure that Catherine is using her arms equally. So we don't want one arm lowering before the other, because again, you might get hurt. So with the hinge part, she's going to come down, and she's going to want to hit at about nipple level, making sure to tap and not to rest, because this is one fluid motion. It's not start and then stop. So that's the hinge portion. The push is the second fundamental movement, and this is going to be raising the bar back up, again wanting to stay inside the box, again coming up evenly. And throughout this, you really want to focus on breathing, especially when you have actual weight. So when she's lowering, she's going to want to breathe in, and then as she comes back up, she's going to want to make sure that she breathes out. So that is the bench press.